Most people have heard that walking is good for them, yet because it sounds so ordinary, it rarely gets the respect it deserves. People treat it as a backup plan, something you do when you can't manage real exercise. What rarely gets explained is that walking isn't a lesser form of movement, it's a foundational one. A daily walk quietly reshapes brain function, stress chemistry, blood sugar regulation, cellular energy production, and emotional balance. The catch is that many people who already walk never feel these effects, not because walking doesn't work, but because their body isn't receiving it as a meaningful, recurring signal. Here's what actually happens inside the body when walking becomes a genuine habit. 1. It physically changes the brain. Deep inside the brain sits a structure called the hippocampus, the center of memory formation, learning, and mental sharpness. With age, it naturally shrinks, and that shrinkage is closely tied to memory loss and conditions like Alzheimer's. For a long time, this was considered irreversible. Then researchers studied walkers. In one well-known study, older adults walked at a moderate pace for 40 minutes, 3 times a week. After a year, brain scans showed the hippocampus had actually grown. Walking hadn't just slowed the decline, it had reversed it. This happens because walking increases blood flow to the brain and triggers the release of a protein called BDNF, which supports the growth and communication of brain cells, essentially acting as fertilizer for neural tissue. Clearer thinking, sharper memory, and better focus after a walk aren't coincidences. They're biology. 2. It resets your stress chemistry. Stress isn't just a feeling, it's a chemical state. The hormone cortisol, when chronically elevated, disrupts sleep, promotes weight gain, weakens immunity, and keeps the body in a constant state of low-level tension. Many people don't even notice they're in this state until they step outside and walk. A steady, rhythmic walk activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the branch responsible for calm and recovery. The repetitive left-right motion sends the brain a quiet but powerful message. The threat has passed. This is why problems don't need to disappear for a walk to feel calming. The body chemistry shifts first. Walking outdoors amplifies this effect further, as natural light and open sightlines reinforce that sense of safety. 3. It unlocks creative and analytical thinking. Walking doesn't just settle the mind, it opens it. Stanford researchers found that walking boosted creative output by roughly 60% compared to sitting. The reason is circulatory. Prolonged sitting, especially under mental pressure, slows blood flow and narrows thinking. Walking reverses this immediately. Each step drives blood back up toward the brain, delivering more oxygen and nutrients. Walking also activates the brain's default mode network, the system behind insight, imagination, and the ability to connect unrelated ideas. This is why solutions tend to surface during a walk rather than during a forced thinking session. Movement creates mental space, and mental space is where new ideas live. 4. It stabilizes blood sugar. Every meal sends sugar into the bloodstream. Insulin then works to shuttle it into the cells. Over time, this system becomes less efficient, leading to energy crashes, afternoon sugar cravings, and over-reliance on caffeine. Walking directly addresses this. When muscles contract during a walk, they draw glucose out of the blood for fuel, a process that requires very little insulin. Research shows that just 10 minutes of walking after a meal can reduce blood sugar spikes significantly, sometimes more effectively than a single longer workout taken hours later. Done consistently, this trains the body to handle food efficiently rather than erratically. 5. It builds energy at the cellular level. Inside every cell are structures called mitochondria, the body's energy factories. When they're functioning poorly, fatigue persists regardless of how much sleep a person gets. Walking stimulates the formation of new, healthy mitochondria and clears out damaged ones. Unlike intense exercise, which temporarily spikes stress hormones, walking improves energy production gently and sustainably. Regular walkers often describe feeling a steady, quiet energy, not overstimulated, not depleted. That's the difference between producing energy and borrowing it. 6. It supports digestion. The digestive system depends on movement. Intestinal muscles rely on physical activity to keep food moving through the gut. Extended sitting slows this process, contributing to bloating and discomfort. Walking after meals encourages natural digestive contractions, not as a trick or trend, but as straightforward physiology doing what it was designed to do. 7. It strengthens the heart without overloading. Intense workouts are often assumed to be the only path to a stronger heart, but large population studies show that walking and running provide comparable cardiovascular benefits when energy expenditure is similar. Walking lowers blood pressure, improves cholesterol balance, and enhances circulation, all without spiking cortisol or stressing the joints. Because it's sustainable, it's one of the most realistic long-term heart health strategies available. 8. It improves breathing efficiency. Walking trains the diaphragm and the other muscles involved in respiration. Over weeks of regular walking, the body becomes more efficient at extracting and using oxygen. Breathing grows deeper and more controlled. Many people find that everyday activities, climbing stairs, carrying groceries, feel noticeably less taxing after a few weeks of consistent walking. 9. It nourishes joints and corrects posture. Walking doesn't wear down joints, it lubricates them. Movement stimulates the production of synovial fluid, which reduces stiffness and keeps cartilage healthy. It's extended sitting that accelerates joint deterioration. Walking also retrains posture by countering the forward head and rounded shoulders that come from prolonged screen use. Better posture reduces back pain, improves balance, and supports broader mobility. 10. It shifts mood and emotional regulation. Walking increases serotonin, endorphins, and other natural calming compounds while simultaneously lowering stress hormones. Large-scale scientific reviews have confirmed walking's effectiveness in both preventing and managing anxiety and depression. The mechanism isn't distraction, it's a genuine change in the brain's chemical environment. Walking doesn't help people forget how they feel. It changes the biological conditions that produce those feelings in the first place. 11. It determines how well you age. Perhaps the most underappreciated benefit of walking has nothing to do with weight, step counts, or fitness benchmarks. It has to do with independence. Research consistently shows that regular walkers don't merely live longer, they age better. They get up from chairs without difficulty, they navigate stairs confidently, they recover from illness faster, they fall less often, they stay mentally sharp for longer. Scientists refer to this as health span, the number of years lived in good physical and mental condition, not just the number of years alive. Walking supports health span by keeping multiple body systems functioning in coordination. Brain, muscles, heart, joints, and nervous system all engage simultaneously during a walk. As people age, it's often the disconnection between these systems, not the failure of any single one, that leads to decline. Walking interrupts that process. It preserves leg strength, challenges the balance system, reinforces posture, and because it's weight-bearing, helps slow bone loss that can lead to fractures later in life. 12. Consistency matters more than anything else. Here's where most people go wrong. They assume the benefits of walking come from speed, distance, or reaching some daily step target. In reality, the most powerful driver is repetition. The body adapts to what it experiences most often. Occasional activity registers as noise. Regular activity registers as a signal. When walking happens most days, muscles stay responsive. Insulin sensitivity improves, stress hormones stabilize, joints remain mobile, and the brain stays engaged. None of this requires perfection. A 15-minute walk 5 days a week will deliver more benefit than one intense session followed by 6 days of inactivity. A short walk after dinner, done consistently, can reshape blood sugar response more effectively than sporadic exercise bursts. Consistency is what tells the body, this is normal now. And once the body accepts that movement is part of its regular pattern, the adaptations quietly accumulate. Walking isn't a basic exercise, it's a foundational one. It's the movement the body understands most naturally, the one that supports the heart, metabolism, joints, brain, and mood all at the same time. It doesn't require equipment, a gym membership, or peak motivation. It requires only repetition. For the next 7 days, don't focus on speed or distance. Just walk intentionally. Most days, at a steady pace, long enough to give your body a signal it can recognize. That's where the change begins.